Here's the real thing that people don't like to talk about when it comes to sin, right? And I talked about this on a video earlier, probably a couple days ago. But this is really important because you really need to understand this because it's going to make you a much it's going to make you more aware of the people that you share your information with, right? Um, one thing is for sure. Every one of us sin every single day, okay? There is nobody, I don't care if it's your pastor, your mother, your favorite auntie, we all walk in sin because we are walking mistakes. So what when I see people always trying to condemn somebody else for what they've done wrong or what they currently not doing, it's one thing to correct somebody because we all need correction, right? Like you can't just let people do wrong and don't say nothing about it because then now you're accomplice to what they're doing, right? If somebody goes say, hey, I'm about to go rob a bank, and you be like, all right, I see you when you get back. I mean, that's not really a real friend. That's not somebody that's trying to help. But the thing is that you have people that's in pain, right? You got people like you have to understand that everybody is not in the same boat. Everybody, you're not just because your life is a certain way, don't mean that their life is, right? So you could be doing perfectly fine. You could be, financially stable, kids going to college, all different type of stuff. And one of your friends could be in emotional, mental turmoil, right? Because of things that's going on in their life. And they could be on the brink of making a very bad decision. And instead of you lifting them up, you are too busy trying to tell them what they should do. That one of the main things you should not ever do is tell somebody what they should do. Because sometimes people ain't asking you for your advice. Sometimes people just talking to you because they need an ear to hear, not to always be having the answers to every little thing. Because see, when you go to this is the sad part. A lot of times you can go to the person like people that go to church all the time. They always seem to have all the answers. Give it to God. Give it to God. Give it to God. The thing is this. Nobody said they don't give it to God. But by you being a human being, you do have the right and you can feel frustrated sometimes because it's a normal feeling. The Most High made us in his image. Okay? Do you think he liked when they was praying to calves and gold and stuff when he was the actual creator? You think he wasn't frustrated? Why I created these people? They built the cavern and they praying to the cavern, but they not praying and thinking that, hey, I got hands to build this. You pray to what you built instead of looking at your hands saying, I did this. That's frustration. So it's the same thing with life. We all go through those things. We go through like certain frustrations and certain things that can bring us down a little bit and make us a little bit frustrated. And you just all we asking for is just an ear to hear and just not be you don't have to have the answers. Just hear me out for a minute. Right? And so when you look at a person that's always talking about, oh, you sin, you that's a sin, this is sin, you're going to hell for this, you're going to hell for that. Everything you do, you're going to hell. If you drink, you're going to hell. If you smoke, you're going to hell. If you look at a nice looking woman, you're going to hell. If you everything you do, you're going to hell. You understand what I'm saying? Every sin that you commit. But the thing is, the person that's telling you that is sinning. Why they telling you that? There is no perfect person on this earth. You ain't perfect. They ain't perfect. You don't have to take I don't care how they dress, what church they run, how often they go to church, how often they even say they read the Bible. It doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter. Humanity is humanity. Sometimes you have to understand that you don't understand. And when you can get that in your head and you can really understand that, like you really look and say, yeah, I don't understand, then you're going to have a problem with being able to identify with real people. Because where were you before you started going to church? What was you doing? Was you in the club? Was you smoking? Was you drinking? Are you still drinking? Are you still smoking? Because the people that's always condemning you, they go into their hidden closet and they do the things that they talk about you doing as if the Most High don't see them. That's, I mean, it's contradicting, and it's unnecessary, because there's no reason for any of us to try to make it seem like we the answer to everything, because we're not. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? You can sit back, have a regular conversation with somebody, hear their pain. You know, maybe somebody's son not listening to them, or daughter not listening to them, or they don't know what to do. You know, like certain decisions. I mean, it's not the easiest world to live in, okay? Especially when you're not running it. You got to adapt to everything that happens. If Donald Trump make this decision, you don't know. If this person do this, everything affects you, and you got to be ready for what can affect you at any given moment. And you don't know how it's affecting people. Some people are very, they keep that what's going on with them very close within, opposed to sharing everything, talking about everything. Because, you know, a lot of times when you share your feelings with people, all it ends up being is a rumor. They used to do this thing in class where it would start, the teacher would start with the first student, tell them something, and then by the time it got to the last student, it wasn't the same story. And that's what happens. Sometimes you could just tell somebody like, man, yeah, I can't do that right now. You know, I ain't got enough money for that right now. And then that person will go and tell somebody, yeah, he broke or she broke. They ain't got no money. They can't even pay their light bill. None of this came out your mouth. You just said, I can't do this right now. And now it's a whole fake story on you. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, nah, sometimes people really want to see you do bad, right? So this is what I would say. I ain't gonna say what I would say do, but this is what I do. I just pray to the Most High, and I just keep it there, right? Because you never can be sure what the next person is looking for your life. And you already know Satan wants the worst for you, and he uses people, and he always uses the people that you love. Because if a person walk down the street that you don't know and say, I hate you, you'd probably laugh. But if your mother say it might affect you. If your wife or your husband or your kids say it, it's going to affect you. You understand what I'm saying? So be mindful of that, okay? Be mindful of that, because sin is something that we gonna do all the time. Just keep praying and repenting. And as long as your heart is pure, that's all you need to know. Okay? Just keep going back to the Most High to the best of your ability. Don't worry about what everybody else is saying, because don't nobody know your pain. I'm going to give you a real quick example before I end this video. One of my very best friends got murdered in August of 2021, right before his wedding, 8 days before his wedding, by a friend of 28 years. I don't even want to get into that, because it's just very, very, it's a crazy, and maybe I will tell that story one day, but regardless. And we were at the balloon release, and his soon-to-be wife, who would have been his wife in 8 days, she crying her eyes out. She can't stop. She can't understand it. She's just sitting there, just looking at the casket, And this two women from a church, I don't know what church they came from. I don't know. But they were sitting with her. But when I went in there, I just went to check on her, and she was crying. And so while they were standing there talking to her, and she grabbed me. She wanted to say something to me. And then one of the ladies from the church said, now remember what I said, you're going to get you a new husband. She broke down crying even more. I got pissed. I'm like, get out of here. Why would you say that right now? Because don't you say God told you to tell her that. The Most High did not tell you to tell that woman that she was going to find another husband. She wanted the man that she was about to marry in 8 days. You don't even know how to time when to say something. You're going to say it right at the balloon release. You understand what I'm saying? These are the people that want to feel like they doing God's work. You got to watch out for these people, because they will take you somewhere that you really you mess around and go back to your old ways against them, because you see through what they're trying to do. And a lot of people don't think that you see it, but you do. You understand what I'm saying? And so when you run into people like that and you're dealing with people that want to be so-called spiritual, remember, demons are spirits too. So spiritual doesn't mean that it's automatically good. Okay? People that's dealing in witchcraft is dealing with spirits too. All right? So with that being said, listen, the thing about sin is that you're going to continue. You're going to always, we are made in sin. Just keep praying, asking for repentance, and try your best to not go back. But don't let man tell you you need to stop, you need to stop. They don't know where you're at. Pray to the Most High, let the Holy Spirit guide you. But when men start trying to come in and start trying to guide you, next thing you know, it's all about the show. It's all about the show. Okay? So with that being said, I just want to welcome y'all to the Real Conversation with Greg James. This is what this is. And I'll talk to y'all in the next video. All right. Peace.